Good Tuesday morning. I am Beth Fisher. Are you ready for history? It's about to happen. Chopper 13 giving us our last bird's eye view of the Riviera, which will come down in just minutes. Implosion time now set for 2:30. It was originally set for 2 o'clock, but then just about 6 hours ago, we got word they'd pushed it back just a smidge, and we have every angle covered from the air to Parker Collins and Brian Callahan on the ground. They were both there for the first Riviera implosion. So let's start with Parker, shall we? Parker is near Circus Circus. Parker, are folks out there excited? Do they know what's about to happen?
Excited is an understatement. It's already getting rowdy up here. I want to show you. Look at all these people up on the railing here. We've actually been moved several times by police who are out here for our own safety, just saying, get off the sidewalk, get off of Circus Circus's lawn. You can see all these people filling this parking lot, all waiting to watch this implosion. Like you said, we were here for the first implosion. This will be the last implosion of the Riviera. I can hear them already chanting, yelling. It's very excited over here. They are all training their cameras right over in this direction. Reporting live, Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
Parker, before we leave you, now I was told you were at Circus Circus, but I don't recognize the property behind you. Where are you exactly?
We are right next door to Circus Circus. To be clear, the police, they're clearing the streets, they're clearing the sidewalks. Hey, John, can you swivel it over a little bit? I want to show you. I mean, we are a stone's throw away from Circus Circus. It's over in that direction, Beth. I think technically we're at Travel Lodge, but this is where everyone's hanging out. You can see they're having a good time. A lot of them over on the railing behind me. So we are close, but not, I guess, technically at Circus Circus.
Wow, you've got a great, especially those people up on the balcony, great vantage point. Thanks so much. Let's check in with Brian Callahan now. Brian, it's, I don't know, what are you going on now, my friend, 12 or a 14-hour shift?
Not quite that bad, but there is excitement here, but not quite as rowdy of a crowd here as what Parker's talking about there. This is where the LVCVA's party was for the first implosion back in June. Not much of a party here now, but you can see they have lit up that Monte Carlo tower that's going to be imploded here in 7 or so minutes is what they're aiming for. They're also, if you look to the left, the white tower there and that glass front entrance, they're also going to be imploded at the same time here tonight. So a lot of people starting to line Convention Center Drive to try and get the best view of the implosion here. Of course, we've got Chopper 13 up in the air as well, but everybody wants to get a look at their last look at the Riviera before they try and take all 3 pieces of this tower down at the same time tonight. A lot of people in the area right now. You can actually see in the distance there, there's some Clark County fire crews there monitoring wind conditions, making sure everything is safe with this implosion. Now, we aren't going to have the fireworks that we saw prior to the Monaco Tower being imploded last June, but we are expecting some sort of a signal here, hoping we get some sort of a signal to be able to get you those live pictures as soon as they implode this again. They're aiming for 2:30, but they've got to keep an eye on weather conditions here before pushing the button. Reporting live, Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
So, Brian, you're going to give us a big wave, right? Because unlike previous implosions, there's not going to be a big countdown. So we're just going to be watching from all of our vantage points, and you'll give us a whoop, and we'll take it.
Yeah, wave as quickly as possible. We're hoping we can hear something over the radios from security and the crews that are monitoring the situation here. But obviously, we do usually hear the first bang a few seconds before the towers actually start to fall, so we'll be watching for that to give the best signal.
All right, Brian, thank you so much. We want to give you an idea of just how different this Riviera implosion will be from the first one in June, and Brian mentioned this. Let's take a look at what happened then. Listen, it was phenomenally impressive. There you saw the Riviera sign lit up. We're told there will be no lights this time around, so it's going to be dark, but we will be flying over it. Also, the fireworks show will be missing. In June, there was a great fireworks display leading up to the Riviera implosion. There were a lot of celebrity parties. There was a big stage show, and then, of course, we saw the big countdown in the sky before the big boom. Now, as we get closer to this morning's implosion, we're going to check back in with Parker, and I just want to reassure you that the second it starts to go, we'll take the cameras and give you absolutely the best views in town. But Parker, let's check back in with you briefly. A bit different from the first time around.
That's for sure, but I wanted to move to give you another angle of what we're seeing out here, but there really just isn't room. John, if you can pan it around again, I want to show you there are people sitting, even standing on their cars to get a good view of what's about to happen in just a few minutes. I mean, it is packed over here, and they're definitely rowdy. They're having a good time. Last Implosion, I was at a similar party, but it was a little bit smaller. This one is definitely much bigger. Again, we're seeing a lot of police. If you can see those flashing lights off in the distance, they were telling us, stay off the streets, stay off the sidewalks. And again, up here on the railing, you can see these people. I highly doubt many of them are staying here at the Travel Lodge, but this is really a great view to watch the implosion, especially the front part of the Riviera. This is a really good view of that. And again, this time we're not going to be seeing those fireworks. We're not going to be hearing speeches. But if you can see, I'm not sure if it'll be too dark, but you can see some of those spotlights waving over in the distance. So yeah, sure, they're not making a big party of it, but people are out here. They are celebrating and having a great time. Reporting live, Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
All right, Parker, thank you. Yeah, when we take the shot from Chopper 13, you can see those big beams shooting, and clearly there's a party at the Riviera as people just say farewell to a property that has meant so much to so many big name celebrities performing. Great shot from Chopper 13, always fast and first above the scene. And there's 3 different structures that are going to be coming down tonight, including the glass Riviera, the front of the hotel, that whole glass facade in the very front, the structure behind, and then you see the large structure to the left of your screen there, right below the Chopper 13 logo. So all those buildings are scheduled to come down at the exact same time. Brian, they had to do some asbestos removal. It's taken a little bit of work to get to this point. Brian?
Yeah, it has taken quite a bit of work to get to this. I mean, you can actually take a look at that Monte Carlo tower. You can see it looks a lot different on the outside from everything they had to remove from that tower to make sure it is safe to implode. And just about a minute before I came on here, I was given a 6-minute warning. So we're within 4 or 5 minutes of this planned implosion going off here. As Parker was saying, you can see all of those spotlights waving in the air as they're getting ready for this. Obviously doing last-minute prep checks to make sure everything is safe and ready to go for this implosion. As you said, about 3 towers. The Monte Carlo Tower, obviously the biggest tower going down tonight, but that glass front entrance that most people saw as they walked down the strip over the past decade plus is also coming down. And I was talking to one of the crew members here earlier. They said it is very different taking that glass entrance down than it is the Monte Carlo Tower, because that glass entrance is steel and glass, which is different to implode than concrete. But they are planning to take all 3 of those down simultaneously. Should be quite a view from all of our vantage points. We've got the 3 cameras here on the ground, as well as Chopper 13 in the air to give you the best view of the implosion. The last seconds of the Riviera here, again, opened 1955, now coming to the ground 61 years later. We're going to be here on the ground watching it all. Reporting live, Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
All right, Brian, thank you. I can't wait to hear your thoughts after it all comes down. Of course, a lot of people sad to see the Riviera go. It really has a rich history here in Las Vegas. It opened in 1955. It was the Strip's first high-rise casino. So if you can imagine, prior to the Riviera, the casinos were more like those roadside motel style. It had more than 2,100 rooms. There were a total of 13 buildings on the site, and because they just sort of kept building onto and adding onto, a lot of people didn't realize that there were 13 buildings there. And look, you saw the Liberace sign. He cut the ribbon the day the Riviera opened. He was the first resident artist at the Riviera. A lot of legends graced the stage, including Frank Sinatra, George Burns. The hotel casino closed in 2015, and if you're wondering what's going up, it's to make room for the convention center to expand. So it's the convention center that purchased it. Oh, you're looking at some of the famous demolitions here, and we're about 1 minute away now. There's the dunes being demolished. Yeah, you guys want to take a live look, because we certainly don't want to miss it for our viewers this morning. We're being told that we're about 1 minute away from the iconic Riviera coming down, and you saw a glimpse of some of the previous implosions on the Strip, but the Riviera is certainly one of the most famous properties. You guys, it's been in so many dozens of feature films. It's been featured in, because it's a world famous landmark and really one of the most famous properties on the Strip for so many years. And so a lot of people are sad to see the Riviera go, and of course it was home to some great shows too. Splash back in the day, and of course the Naked Butt Girls. What would the you guys know what I'm talking about? An Evening at La Cage with Frank Marino. Oh, and Crazy Girls. Sorry, Crazy Girls. I just lost your name there for a minute. Of course, those bronze statues that were out in front of the Riviera of all those rears moved. Let's look. It's happening, everyone. The demolition of the Riviera. Wow, and you see all of that smoke billowing into the air. All of that smoke and that big boom is the sound and the sights of progress in Las Vegas. The convention industry here is huge and booming and an important part of our economy. It's not just about the gaming. Our economy relies heavily on the convention industry, and our convention center said they couldn't compete with some of these worldwide destinations unless they expanded. And so that's what's going up on the site of the Riviera property. And this is the third implosion. The first was the parking garage. The second was one of the towers. And now this final few pieces of the Riviera, as a lot of people, I'm sure, are sad to see it go tonight. I got an email from someone in Scotland earlier this morning saying, I'm sad to see it go. I gambled there. I loved it there. And I think a lot of people share those thoughts. Let's go back to Parker Collins, shall we? And you see people at Parker's scene there kind of clearing out. It looks like they're running away from the smoke there, Parker. Or the dust, I should say.
That is exactly right, Beth. I'm going to pan it right over in this direction. Look at this. It's coming right for us. You can see all these people. This parking lot was packed. Now they're heading out of here because this dust is taking over. I have to say, we were really close to this. Oh, you might see a little bit of that sprinkling down now, trying not to get any of that in our eyes. But, I mean, it was rattling our chests. That's how loud it was. And people were playing music and screaming and hollering. We didn't get a countdown, but we knew it was coming. I'm not sure, can you see me? It's definitely coming down now. I'm going to actually toss it back over to you guys so I can kind of move back. Reporting live, Parker Collins, 13 Action News.
Oh, Parker, race to put something over your nose and mouth so you can get some fresh air. I'm curious about Brian Callahan. He was a little bit closer to the Riviera and at a different vantage point. Brian, Parker's getting inundated with debris and all of that dust. How are you? Yeah, you look like you're not faring so bad.
It's not so bad. I can see the dust starting to work its way towards us. We should have a clear view of the circus. At this point we can't. And just in the past couple minutes as dust clouds spread out, there was another sign. You can see the neon halo there through the dust, but this dust cloud is spreading out a lot more than we saw when that Monaco Tower was imploded. A lot more of a dust cloud. It seems a lot denser, and without that countdown, that boom just kind of came up on you, startled us a little bit here, and it seemed like these towers came down a lot faster than the Monaco Tower. Not sure of the physics behind that, but it may have just been the fact that there wasn't a big show before. It wasn't a big build-up. It just kind of snapped your fingers, heard that first boom, and the tower started falling, but you can still see that dust cloud making its way out as a lot of these people here are getting in their cars, trying to get out of the parking lot after the implosion, trying to keep some of that dust off of them as here, but it wasn't exciting. You could hear the people cheering. I could hear it in my ear from Parker's vantage point. A lot of the crowd wasn't as close to us to hear on our microphones, but it was a lot of cheering, a lot of people excited to see this progress as they are getting ready for this convention center expansion. Reporting live, Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
Brian, thank you. I love our city. Don't we live in a cool city? We sure do appreciate you all staying up late or waking up early to watch the Riviera implosion with us. It was our honor to bring you this live coverage. Of course, we're going to stay down on the Strip, and we're going to continue tracking this as all that dust clears and we get a better view and we know whether it was a success. We'll be tweeting out updates to you. And of course, Good Morning Las Vegas is on the air in just 2 hours at 4:30, so I hope you'll join us then. Have a great morning, everyone, and farewell, Riviera.